Well, they don't hand out trophies for playing a quarter and a half of football, and that's basically the story here. It looks like they're looking at a coaching change. They play like we're looking for a coaching change, or we. They look like they're playing for a coaching change. Typical unprepared football team. What do you expect? So now the question is going to be, what coach is going to want to, come to Denver and have John Elway meddle? That's really what it's going to come down to. So anyway, another Bronco loss. I guess the Broncos are playing for draft picks now. But even if they lose the last two games, I don't think they'd move up or down either way. So, the bottom line is, who cares about the draft anyway? When, in my opinion, it's going to be a while before you get cohesiveness between a GM and ownership, and then coaching, and then everything else trickles down from there. So the Broncos are going to be a long way off really becoming a decent football team. It's going to be very interesting to see how these guys, what Elway thinks, who he's going to be able to bring in, because I think there's skepticism on a lot of potential people out there. My pick would be offensive coordinator New Orleans, maybe the offensive coordinator for Seattle. Both of them seeing the ups and downs and have done a lot with little. Of course, they got Russell Wilson and Drew Brees, but it takes more than that to have a successful football team. So, but to get those kind of offensive coordinators, are they apt to want to work with John Elway? It's going to be, I think, the $1 million question.
It just gets worse every year since the demise of the last couple of years of Peyton Manning. The offensive line just can't seem to block, and even run blocking now seems to be a chore for them. I mean, they'll have plays designed behind the line of scrimmage, and they're just snuffed out immediately. There's no pocket for Case Keenum. I mean, you can blame Case Keenum all you want, Trevor Siemian, whatever, but you can never going to bring a quarterback in unless the Denver Broncos decide to take a serious rebuild on the offensive line, and there hasn't been any real attention put on the offensive line, in my opinion, since Josh McDaniels was here. And basically, the offensive line that the Broncos GM took over was about the best they had. That was the early years of Peyton Manning's reign, but it certainly went down the hill the last two seasons of his tenure. The other thing is we got, I guess, the coaches that can't even get anything basic football right. They don't know who to block. The players, they don't know who to cover on defense. It's pretty bad. So obviously their coaching change needs to happen without a doubt. But then the problem again is you're stuck. Whoever they get is going to have to be saying yes to. I was just looking at a pass by Derek Carr, and he has a nice pocket around him. You give your quarterback a pocket, they can actually throw no matter who it is. But again, players just wide open. Nobody knows who they're covering. People on the field that's not supposed to be there. Gaffes left and right. We got Brooks, who doesn't know exactly who to block. I mean, he doesn't have the sense, and the play design doesn't even have the sense to leave him back to pick up blocks when in the passing game. It's just a mess, no matter how you slice this thing. There's a long way to go, and quite frankly, quarterback's not going to help this team. Right now, you have a very unfriendly quarterback team. And I don't see the Broncos getting any decent coaching until there's an owner that can put a leash on John Elway. So, it's going to be like this for quite a while. They'll probably bring in another puppet coach. I can't imagine anybody like that's any good that's going to want to have Elway be meddling, you know, and then end up like Vance Joseph. So expect more of this till, I would say, till we get ownership, and you know, and then there you go. Are we going to get a Snyder type owner, or are we going to get a non-meddling owner? It's going to be interesting. And if Elway chooses to leave at that time because he isn't, you know, doesn't have all the, you know, can say, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.